Red Dead Redemption 2's official trailer number 2 was released yesterday, and in this video I'll be going over a few things that you might have missed from that trailer, as well as a pretty interesting leak that happened about a year ago, but is recently surfacing because of what's in it. Now this will be a continuation of my breakdown of the trailer from yesterday, so if you have yet to check out that video, I will leave a link in the description. Starting off with Dutch, in the trailer we noticed that on his right hand he is wearing 2 rings. And that actually connects back to one of the screenshots Rockstar released a few months ago when they announced Red Dead Redemption 2 was going to be delayed. In this screenshot you can see this character is dual wielding the pistols, and he also has those 2 rings. Now at the time, many people broke this screenshot down and discovered that on one of the rings there is what appears to be a D, and now knowing that Dutch is also wearing those 2 rings, it makes a lot of sense that that is a D and it is Dutch's character. The next thing, going back to this original artwork that Rockstar released when they first announced this game. In it, we have 7 different characters, and the lead one, the guy in the middle, is our main character, Arthur Morgan. And now that we have a little bit more context from the second trailer, we can somewhat put together who is actually in this group. So to the left of Arthur, we have Dutch. To the right of Arthur, we have Bill Williamson. On the far left, we have John Marston. And on the far right, we have the Native American that was featured in the recent trailer. The 2 that we don't really know are the guys to the left of Dutch and to the right of Bill Williamson. Now, that guy to the right of Bill Williamson does look a little bit similar to Landon Ricketts from Red Dead Redemption 1. However, I don't think that is him because, if my memory serves me correctly, we met him for the first time in that game. So it wouldn't really make much sense if that is John Marston on the left and that's Landon Ricketts. They would have already known each other going in to Red Dead Redemption 1. Now, a few people are saying that that character is this character from the trailer. The guy who got his hand stabbed by the woman. It does appear the guy in the artwork has a beard, but the hat is completely different. So I don't believe that is actually the same character. Now the guy next to Dutch on the left-hand side, not many people know who this could be, but one interesting theory is that it's this guy from the trailer that is actually next to the woman who is stabbing the guy with the big beard. They have similar hats and they have similar facial features. So that might be who that character is, but on those 2, we still don't know 100%. Now, in the first scene from the trailer, we actually get a pretty good glimpse at the surrounding area and how open the map is going to be. But if we take a look at something behind the character here, you will notice what looks to be a house. And also, it's kind of blended in with the smoke from the campfire, but there is actually smoke also coming from that house. And I think that just gives us an idea that while this map may be pretty big, and while there may be a bunch of open area, because it's in the late 1890s, there will still be certain houses or places to explore that aren't in the big towns. And that's always a good thing. Now, speaking of those towns, we actually got a little bit more context regarding one of them. If we take a look at this screenshot that Rockstar released when they announced they were going to delay the game, and we take a look at the stores in it, in the trailer, we can also see those same stores, but during the daytime. So by just comparing those, you can see the different angles and how big this little town will be. Also, from this fight sequence in the trailer, we can also see this town with the church tower in the background, which we saw at one point in the trailer. So I'm guessing that this is going to be one of the initial towns we start off in, and then we progress maybe to bigger and better towns. Now, according to that leaked map that came out about a year ago, this is a cleaned up version of it, people are going frame by frame in the trailer, trying to connect the trailer, the gameplay that we have, with this leaked map to see if it is real. And I showed you guys 3 separate instances that it could be real in yesterday's video. Today, I have 2 more. And I will be doing a separate map analysis video once we sort of go through everything, just to consolidate all this information into one video. But what we're going to be taking a look at today is one of the first scenes from the trailer. If you take a look at this scene right here, you will notice there is a river. And you can see it almost has an S shape. Also, and this is a little harder to see, but at the bottom of the screen, behind the trees or through the trees, there is what appears to be a train track. And just in case you need some visual aid, this is what I'm talking about, the S on the river and then the train track in that area. If we take a look at that leaked map, that lines up almost perfectly with this area. You can see the train track is going over the Turtle Creek or whatever it is right there on the left, and it goes into the big river, the Dakota River. And the circle, the blue circle, is the train track, and then the purple is the river from the gameplay trailer. Also, in this same scene on the Dakota River, there's a place called Cumberland Falls. And if we take a look at that part in the gameplay trailer, assuming that the river we see is the Dakota River, there is an area that looks like it's a little waterfall. So that is just another clue that says this leak map is real. I'm sure some things may be tweaked, but for the most part, this is the map we're going to be getting in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, the final thing I want to mention before we hop into this major leak, if you watch the official trailer number 1 and then the official trailer number 2, you may notice something. In the first trailer, the only words that were spoken were, "When the time comes, you better run and don't look back. This is over."
When the time comes, you gotta run and don't look back. This is over.
And that is Arthur Morgan saying those words. And one of the fan theories at the moment is that at the end of Red Dead Redemption 2, because Arthur Morgan isn't in Red Dead Redemption and this is a prequel, he is going to die. And the main fan theory is that John Marston, since he's a part of Dutch's gang, is going to kill Arthur Morgan. But listening to that, it almost makes me think that maybe Arthur realizes Dutch and his gang is bad. He turns on them and he tells John, "When the time comes, you better run and don't look back. This is over." And that is what starts the process of John quitting, leading into Red Dead Redemption 1. It's just an idea, that's just my fan theory, but I thought that was kind of interesting watching the first trailer again. Now, that major leak. If you don't want the story spoiled potentially, then don't watch this, like click off the video, but this does give us an insight as to how the game is going to be. So this picture right here, this is from Reddit. This is from Reddit user, that guy, and he apparently received a message from someone who claimed to know some inside information about Red Dead Redemption 2, and you can see this date is a year ago. So he said there was a guy on Reddit several months ago leaking Red Dead info, and this is what he said. You play a gang leader named Arthur. So this guy, right off the bat, called the main character's name a year before we even knew about it. And he continues by saying the biggest change made to the game is that you have a posse. If I remember correctly, the story kind of starts when you find out someone in your outlaw gang is a Pinkerton spy. The Pinkertons end up having you on the run through most of the game. You acquire lots of members of your gang, such as Abigail, Little Jack, John Marston, and others. The core mechanic of the game is having to maintain and continuously move your outlaw camp. When you go on a mission, you will choose who to take with you, similar to Mass Effect or Dragon Age. The game spans 5 zones. A directive they keep getting is to make the environments more interactive like Skyrim, whatever that means. There is kind of a game plus, like the last one had, you end up at Beecher's Hope and switch control to John Marston. There are lots of quests, etc., dealing with building up your ranch. You literally will do X and Z to build a gazebo. I heard someone designed a minigame where you help a mayor give birth, and that had a lot of people laughing. The last I heard, which was a few months ago, the game was stuck in a development hell of sorts. Then the team kept remaking a vertical slice demo for the leaders of Rockstar, and they aren't impressed. They didn't find it different enough or innovative enough. Hopefully they got out of that rut. I've also heard since GTA 5, morale at Rockstar San Diego has been bad. Long-timers are quitting, lots of turnover, lots of frustration. That's all I can remember offhand. So there's so much in that, and I'll quickly go through it all. Like I said, he did correctly call the main character's name. The biggest change is that you have a posse, and maybe those 7 characters we saw in the screenshot and the artwork, maybe that is your posse. Maybe that's not just exclusive to Dutch's gang. He also talks about how you're on the run most of the game, which does make sense considering what Arthur Morgan said in the official trailer number 2, how they've been chased across 3 different states. Now, I'm not entirely sure what they mean by having the environment more interactive like Skyrim. I absolutely love Skyrim's environment, the world that they put it in, so if they have it anywhere near that, I will be happy. The next paragraph is a little weird though, because he says you end up playing as John Marston. So maybe if he's in your posse, maybe it's something like GTA 5 in that you can for a little bit at least, control some of these other characters. And if they do have little mini quests where you get to build up your own cabin or your own ranch, I know a lot of people would be happy with that. One of the parts that does make this less believable is the part where he mentions you acquiring members such as Abigail or Little Jack. I mean, realistically, Little Jack, John's kid, would only be around 5 years old if this game was about 10 years before the events of Red Dead Redemption 1. So, not really sure what you could do as a 5-year-old little kid in a Wild Wild West game. I think one of the most interesting parts, though, is the last one. Since this was about a year and a half ago, that was around the time when the whole Leslie Benzies situation was happening. And from what I've heard, a lot of people at Rockstar, a lot of old-time people at Rockstar kind of were upset about that since he was there for so long. So it does make sense that there was some issues at the studios. And that could be why the game did end up getting delayed till spring of 2018. However, I will say none of that showed in the trailer because I absolutely love the trailer and I think the trailer looked phenomenal. But what you guys can do is let me know in the comment section what you think about this leak. Do you think it's real? I'm sure his source was real. I'm sure what he said was real, but I'm also thinking that some of what he said is going to end up being cut from the game. But there you guys have it. That is some things you may not have known about the trailer and then the leak. Thank you all for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more awesome Red Dead Redemption 2 videos. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.